Hey, you guys, Miss D is here again. Today, I am going to be talking to you guys about plans and goals. I am part of a women's book club that meet on Wednesdays via Zoom, Wednesday mornings at 8:30. And the current book we're reading is Think and Grow Rich for women. And we just started, so the first chapter is on burning desire, and it's talking about plans and goals and things, in that vein. So, what I decided to do was read to you again from a chapter from Myles Munroe's book on um, the title of the book is Discover the Hidden You, The Secret to Living the Good Life. In chapter 31 of his book talks about plans and goals. And he starts off with Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. He states, God wants us to become people who have plans. He says, quote unquote, use your imagination. I won't I won't give you a thought if you can't do it. If you think it, I'm ready to do it. Plans are documented in imaginations. If you can document an imagination, you've developed a plan for action. Then he goes on further in the chapter on plans and forgiveness and says, start imagining what you want to be, what you want to accomplish, where you want to go, who you want to influence. Write it down. Then put it in a convenient location so you can check your progress, seeing how close you are to your next goal. You will be amazed how that will encourage you. You will begin to see God's power at work within you. Don't worry how you are going to meet all your goals. God says, you make the plan and I will give the answer how it will be accomplished. I am a true testament to that. The vision of Miss D's place, as I mentioned before, it's a 30-year vision, but it has not be coming to fruition and begin to manifest until now. And that is because I wrote it down on paper. And when I wrote it down before when I first got it, but it was nothing like what I put on paper now and what's coming to fruition now, because back then my thinking was small, so I wrote small. And so I was writing small, thoughts. And I once heard somebody say, if your dream or your purpose or your vision doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. Because God wants us to dream big. And I was afraid to dream big because I thought I had to do it all myself. But impossible. There's no way a vision or purpose given to you by God can be done by you by yourself. It takes other people's and a lot of other talents to help make your purpose come to fruition. And I had to learn that. So, what is it? What is your purpose? What is your vision? Go to God. Ask Him, what is it? Then you begin to imagine that thing and write it down. Miss D's place, I always say when I close my eyes, I can see this facility. I see a dome-shaped building that's the auditorium. Then there's dorm rooms for the pregnant teenagers. Then there's a separate session that is for those girls who have had their children and they're living in like studio size apartments. Then there's a learning center, and there's a daycare on this facility. I am so excited in what God has put into me and what I am seeing coming into fruition. So write your plans and your goals. As Jeremiah 29:11, God says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." All you have to do is ask Him. He'll tell you. I'm a living witness. Well, Miss D is out. I will talk to you soon. Ciao.